Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Talking Dogs with Ante. We had free last Wednesday because of the dog shows, but unfortunately for us, the numbers of corona-infected people are growing drastically in Croatia, and many countries have put us on the red list. So there are not many options for us to travel anymore. So I think that, let's say, from now on, more or less, I think I can promise to you that till the end of the year, I will really try my best to have the interviews every Wednesday in this time. We had a very interesting interview 2 weeks ago with Christian Stefanescu. A lot of comments, a lot of people watching. I'm sure it's going to be the same with this one, already by the comments when we have announced who will be our guest today. He is definitely one of the most popular and most famous all breeds judges from Europe. He has judged all around the world, and I'm extremely happy that he accepted my invitation to be my guest tonight. Hans van den Berg, good evening. How are you today?
Good evening. A bit nervous.
That's good, but positive nervous. But do you know, Hans, when people enter in your ring showing dogs under you, and then you always put a smile and you say a nice word and you talk to them, and not like other judges, you are much more warm to the exhibitors. I will try to be like that to you now so that we break this nervousness.
Okay. Yeah. So yes. Now I am the exhibitor.
Now you are the exhibitor, yes. Finally, I managed to be a judge once in my life. Listen, Hans, we have already more than 100 people watching live this interview, and some friends from you, like Patricia Nemirovsky de Alsina from Argentina, writing, so looking forward to hear this interview. Diego Garcia from the USA saying, great interview today, not to be missed. We have some very devoted people like Natalie Ilonen. Hello, I'm on the way to help with the Sheltie giving birth, but will watch as much as possible. And many other comments, which I will try definitely to catch. There are so many comments and hellos to you, Hans, from all over the world, but I will try to catch on them a little bit later. First of all, as always on the start, I want to ask you, how much did your life change in the last few months? Because I know you have been used to travel more or less like all of us every weekend, packing, unpacking, airports, taxis, hotels. Then at some point, your life became something else. Do you miss traveling? Do you miss judging? Do you miss your friends? How are you dealing with this corona situation?
I don't miss the traveling because I have two hobbies. It is dogs and gardening. So now I think the garden looks more perfect than ever because I so I don't miss the traveling. And to be honest, it's also nice to have a break in the judging as well.
Yes.
Because if you go every week, for me, that is a bit too much.
Yeah, I think in a way all of us have enjoyed a little bit this break, even if we were thinking that we cannot live without dog shows. But then when it came like this, I think to whoever you talk, everybody says, well, in a way, I have enjoyed a little bit to stay at home and to, I think it's nice. Anyhow, Hans, first of all, as usual, I want to go a little bit to your past, to your start with the dogs, and let's start with your kennel name, which was Raimor. Did I pronounce it well?
Yes, that is Raimor because the first import was a Rayanda Raimor. That was a bitch from the famous kennel, and that's why we started with that name.
Ah, okay, because I couldn't find the connection with the kennel name.
So it was Rayanda Raimor, so I think we start with Raimor.
Ah, that's the story. Okay, what I managed to find, because I usually try to prepare myself for the interviews, what I managed to find on internet is that you started showing dogs when you were 16 years old.
Yes.
But I'm curious, how did this happen? How did you enter in the world of the purebred dogs?
No, let's have a look. Let's think about it. We always had Scotties, and I think.
By we, you mean your family?
My family, my parents had Scotties. So I had them all my life, and yes. And when I was 65 years ago, we had a male, and I remember his name was Popov, It was a brindle. It was a brindle dog, and I had a little book with the standards. So and then I looked at his how he looked like, and then I could see he was undershot. So I said
that was not a good start.
That's not a show dog. And then at high school there was a girl, and her parents had Airedale Terriers, and so they were very enthusiastic. And then we got the first show dog was a Welsh Terrier, and he was a combination of a brother and sister, and he was completely mad. But we showed him, and I think we got a very good, and we were very happy because at that time a very good was a very good.
Yes.
And then we got a bitch, Dumbarton Dusky, I think, yes, from the famous Dumbarton kennels. And I went with my sister to the village, and I remember that we went by train and bus, and when we went home, we had a 6 weeks old bitch, and then we showed her at the club show, and she won best bitch, and then she was a champion in I think 4 shows. That was the start.
But so actually, it means your parents were already involved in showing and
No. But they had dogs, but it was never showing. You know, that was
okay.
Never.
So the story of showing and purebred dogs actually started with you.
It started with me, and my sister is also. She's not keen on showing, but she loves dogs and she loves pedigree dogs as well.
Wonderful. Okay, what I found also, Hans, is that you were involved with 3 breeds, more or less, let's say, on a bigger scale. This is something that you mentioned in your CV. So yeah. I would like to hear the stories about these 3 breeds separately. So I think we can start with the Norfolks. You had Norfolks for some time.
Okay, now we had we liked the Norfolks. And I remember that we stayed at the Scottish breeder, Mrs. Micklewade. She was very famous in Scottish. And she said to us, it's not a good combination, Scottish and Norfolks. And we said, why? Because it's just 2 terriers. And she was right. It was not a good combination. What I think about Scottish are, you know, a friend is a friend. If they hate a dog, they hate a dog. But friends are friends. Even with the Chihuahuas, it was never a problem. But the Norfolks in a kennel or in a group, you can never trust them. They can start fighting all of a sudden. And then slowly, the Scottish started to enjoy fighting as well.
Yes, that's a problem.
Yes, and if they start to enjoy it, they really enjoy it.
Yes.
So I had the Norfolks and the Scottish, and I had them in kennels, but we never liked kennels in a way. I like kennels for the nights, but I like them in the group to enjoy life. So, and then we stopped as a Norfolks, but I had an English champion, and I had a very nice, a Nansen male, also very nice. I think he was unbeaten. We showed him a lot. And then with the Chihuahuas, it was 35 years ago, and I was judging in Germany. And then at the toy club, and then I saw a very nice male, Belmoore's Royal Rebel, I think. And I went to the breeder, and she had a bitch puppy, 6 weeks also, and came home. And we lived on a farm. And I said, I have a surprise. It was in the plexiglass box, and Cor looked at it, and he said, "What is this?" I said, "It is a Chihuahua," and I love it. Yeah. And then she stayed. We called her kennel name was Marsolla's Divine Romance.
Nice.
We called her Juliana, and I said, I think we can breed the royal family, and we did.
Yes.
So we had Juliana, we had Beatrix, we had William Alexander. Yeah.
Nice. So how long did you stay with the Chihuahuas?
With the Chihuahuas, we stayed, I think, till the last one died. We bred 2 litters because that bitch, we showed her 3 times. I think she had two CSAs, and she was a reserve at the winner show. We had 2 litters, and then they just died when they were old. We loved them very much.
Yeah.
And at that time, 35 years ago, it was not very popular.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So
I can imagine. So let's now come to let's say to the love of your life, and these were the Scottish, and this is the breed that you still have at home.
yeah,
So you have never break your connections with the Scottish, and I can
no,
understand that, because once when you have a Scotty, you always need to have one by your side. So the Scotty love actually started from your parents.
it started from my parents, yes, but
Yeah.
they were not interested in showing or anything. But yes, we had them, and I was so used to them. And I think we had Popov, and I had another Popov and another Popov. That was a clown, what I remember. Yes.
Yeah. So
So
you were in the beginning. You were showing them and you were breeding them for how long? At some point, I know you stopped breeding.
no. We never bred a lot because we had two full-time jobs, and at that time we bred more for ourselves to have another
Okay.
one, a nice one. That's it. So not for selling them. And I don't know. I'm so bad at names. I don't. At the end, I had bitches. I think 5 bitches with different CACs, but I never showed them more. And then they went to friends and they bred a bit with them. But I went, but we showed, I don't know how many years, but we showed a lot. But not at that time. You did not travel a lot. The farthest away was Luxembourg, I think, and we went to the Bundesliga, and that was far, you know.
Yeah. I know. That it was not like it is today that you travel all these distances all the time. And tell me, Hans. Then at one point you continued to have Scottish as your pets at home, but you stopped showing them.
I stopped showing them because I think if you are judging a lot, um, it's not a good combination, I think. Now I can say that is another story. I was judging in Israel years ago, and there was a president. She had Scottish, and she was ill, and she said, "Can you have 2 of my Scottish?" And I said to myself, 2? Now, yeah, let's do 1. So she gave me a black bitch bred by.
Who it was? Rita Menashe.
Yeah. And she gave me a black bitch, and she was bred by Raya Yarvin, the later Raya Yarvin.
Yes.
And so we showed her once, just as a joke, it was an international show in Leiden, and we lived close to Leiden. And then she won a ticket. And that was the last time, because people were looking at me and they say, I am not sure if he's winning or losing, you know. And you have to behave if you are.
This is the most difficult part.
You cannot gossip.
Yes. But tell me, Hans, one thing now when you have mentioned, because you became, let's say, a famous, popular judge and so on, and then you stopped showing. How it is when some famous colleague judges show dogs under you? Do you feel a little bit more under pressure because of this, or you don't care?
No. I judge what I see. It's more what can make me more sad if it's good friend and he is showing a horrible dog.
Yeah. This is all.
That's more painful for me. But in the nice, that's how I am.
Yeah. Hans, listen, can you just try to put your camera a little bit more down? Yes, like this, much better. Perfect. Yes, because we were losing a little bit your head on the screen. So we want to have you fully on the screen. Much better now. Much better. Listen, there are so many comments already that if I start to read them, I'm going to spend 2 hours only reading. But it's, let me check. It's about 120 people watching now. And I see people saying hello to you from Israel, Norway, South Africa, a lot of people from Netherlands, Brazil, Uruguay, from many places. So there are a lot of people who are watching it. Agneta Astrom from Sweden saying, also and as exhibitor, it has been nice with the break. Both as a breeder and exhibitor, sometimes it is too much. And so, as I said before, I think many people actually have enjoyed this break. Let's continue a little bit, Hans, with these breeds. three breeds that you have been involved, so the Norfolks, Chihuahuas, and Scottish. When you compare the quality of these breeds when you started with them, I'm not going to say how many years ago, and when you compare them through the years that you have been judging them all around the world, do you think that the quality is improving, is going up, or you think that these breeds are going down in the quality?
I think Scottish is much stronger than years ago.
Okay.
I think because you can find now Scottish all over the world in a good quality. In general, you can find them in Croatia, but you can also find them in, let's say, Sweden or Russia. Norfolks, I don't know. Norfolks are never very popular. They've never been very popular. And I think Chihuahuas is a very strong breed at the moment.
Yeah. So this is good. Yes, I think it's good when you have breeds which are, let's say, going better in the quality.
Yeah.
That's much better option than when they go down in the quality. Tell me, Hans, when we talk about Scottish, because it's the breed that you still have at home, when you look at the Scottish, what do you find, let's say, that is one of the most important characteristics that defines the correct breed type of the Scottish? What you want to see when you look at the Scottish, what you want to see?
He is, of course, low to the ground. He is sturdy. He has a short back, a level top line. The tail is tight set. I think the head is not overly long, but it should be in balance with the body. And you see the skull and the muzzle are the same length. It is parallel. They have dark eyes. They have big teeth. They have straight front legs, a good fore chest. And that's what I like in a Scottie, and I like an active dog. I don't want kind of a Pekingese.
Yeah. That's true. A lot of Scotties.
That's for me very important. That is it's an active dog. That's in the standard as well.
Yeah. I think many Scotties have. Yeah, a lot of Scotties have lost maybe a little bit of this terrier temperament. I think that's one of the problems. And tell me, because you judge the breed so often everywhere around the world, you said that in your opinion the quality has improved. But what you find to be the biggest problem in the breed at the moment?
The biggest problem but that is very personally. I don't like too much exaggeration, and I mean too low to the ground, too heavy in body. I want a normal dog, and there are a lot. But there was a time, I remember once in Spain, that there was it was no substance, it was just fat. You know what I mean? And then you have dogs, and I think the head shape is very important, with a nice ear set, small ears, and a very keen expression. Yeah, that's a Scottie. They come in, and you think, wow.
Yeah.
It
is. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Tell me, when you are going abroad or whatever, when you are invited to judge, is there a breed that you are always excited to judge, and is there a breed that you, let's say, find very difficult for you after so many years to judge?
Now, I think what is difficult, that is a secret for me. You have secrets as well, but I have.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't tell you because I have to judge them. And what is nice for me, I think it's nice when I have a good number of dogs and high quality. That's nice. Sometimes you judge and you behave, but it is, you're one of this and two of this, but if you have, let's say, a champion class with 50 French Bulldog males, that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me, Hans, we were talking now a little bit about dogs. Now I want to talk a little bit about the judges, your colleagues. When you compare the quality of judges and of judging, let's say, when you started judging, and I read that you started judging in 1978, and when you compare to the quality of, let's say, young generations of the judges, do you think that we are going in the good direction, or you think that there is something we should be careful with?
Oh, now I have to think. Maybe when I started, you had one breed, two breeds, and then you said I have four breeds. I remember Scottish, Skye, Cairn, Westie, four breeds. Now some are going very fast, and if you go very fast, you do all the time things you're not very. Yeah, how do you say you're not so comfortable about it? If I do breeds I'm not so familiar to, it costs me more energy, but I have a lot that's for me comfortable. I'm relaxed, I can talk and I can smile. But and that's if you go so fast, I don't know if that's always correct. And sometimes it's very fast.
Because I think what is actually, let's say, the point of my questions, when we talk now about some people, we can talk about people like Hasse, like Rainer, Carlos Renau, a lot of people who, let's say, were considered to be legends in the dog world, and what they would say about the dog or something, it was always very important and everybody would listen to them. Do you think that there are people in the young generations growing who will become this what they were at their time?
No, I think we don't have stars in judging anymore. That's over. Yeah. And I mean, I think, what is a star in judging?
Not a star in judging, but the people whose opinion, whose knowledge was really important. And I remember when even 20 years ago, there have been people like you and people from your generation that if you would show under this kind of person, when you would get a critique, you would read this critique. You would be interested to read what is in this critique. I feel that now people are not so much anymore interested so much in the opinion of judges, that we are losing a little bit this part of the dog world.
Yeah, that I don't know if you make a critique and it's only excellent type, good mover, good condition,
but then we have come also to.
But you have young judges, and they are very excellent, and they are very good judges. So you must not say that it was in the past better. No,
this is what I'm asking. Yes.
No.
Yeah. So you think the future looks good in general, at least at this point.
Good if you have the guts to discuss what we're doing. I think some young judges, they know everything, and I will say to them, ask another person, another judge, what do you think about my best of breed Chihuahua? What do you think about my best? And then you learn, because you have to learn all the time. But because sometimes I remember I did once English setters, and I came home and I said to myself, it was not a brilliant thing. Brilliant means that I had no type in my head, because you have an American type, an English type. And then I went, I think the week after I went to a breeder, and then I learned a lot, because sometimes when you're in the ring, you are a bit confused. It's not always so easy. And sometimes, you think, you did. Sometimes you're not happy with what you did.
Yeah, of course. Well, we all have good days and bad days. But do you think, Hans, it's important to be, let's say, self-critical? Is it important in a way, when I hear this story of you judging English setters, it means that you care. I think this is a sign that you don't go inside of the ring and you say, okay, I go and I do whatever I want and that's it. It means that, do you still, after so many years of judging, do you still care to do a good job in the ring?
Yes, because now I remember a very funny story. Years ago, I did at the Bundesliga Norris Terriers, and there came in champion class a dog I will never forget. It was not good, so it got a very good. Then the man came with a bitch in champion class, and then I said to myself, oh, now a small excellent. And then he was best of breed, and in the finals, Cor was sitting next to me. He said to me, who judged this Norwich Terrier? It's me. So sometimes you must laugh, but I think you must be honest. You must look in the mirror and say, I did maybe not perfect, but I did. It was an honest job.
Yes. Yeah. Tell me. I have mentioned when we started, Hans, that you have this kind of a very special approach to exhibitors. You don't see it often, I must say, with other judges. You always, especially when you see that it is somebody who is a beginner, you always have a nice word for them. You try to relax them a little bit, and so on. How much you think this is important?
This is for me very important, because if I'm standing there like a mummy, that's not my personality, you know. Sometimes, for example, when I go to Canada or to the US, then I have to behave, you know, and that
Yes, yes.
I try. And sometimes I think, oh, I made a mistake. And sometimes, you know, if they are nervous, I can say, I said, Madam, are you nervous? And then she said, and I said, me too. And then well, and then, you know, and yeah, I always, but I maybe you know the story that I was judging ductling retrievers in England, and there was an old lady, and I said, Madam, up and down. She said, I'm very old, and I said, me too. And then at my heart, I said, come on, give me an arm, and we walk up and down to the tree, and when we die together, we are in all the magazines. And that was, you know, in England, but you know, they were all laughing, and yeah, because it is a hobby, and we need the younger people. And I know so many people, when you say it's a nice dog. Here, 2 months ago, there was here walking a Japanese Spitz, and I said to the lady, Madam, it's a nice dog. Can you move up and down? And she said, why? I said, because then I can see her. Can you show me? And now she's going to Maastricht for the first time. You know,
nice.
And that's a nice story. And I think it is a very nice story.
Yeah, I think for the people who are just starting in dogs, I think that this, let's say, first contact with the dog show, with the judge and everything is so important. And I think this is probably the moment when they are going to decide if they are going to stay in this world or they are going to stop. I think most of the people who had the first bad experience with the dog shows, they have never gone back. So I think it's also part of the judge's job to try, let's say, in a way, to attract new people to join the sport. I think this is very important. Hans, I have now a few very quick questions for you, but usually people find them very difficult. You can think a little bit about them and try to answer as best as you can, and then after that we go again a little bit to the longer questions. Best show you have ever judged, or let's say one show that you have judged that you will never forget.
But I never forget, no. But I you know, I told it before. Yes. I always remember a bit strange stories. Years ago, I did the 50 years anniversary show in New Zealand for the Welsh Corgi Club.
Okay.
And Best of Breed was a bitch, and shown by a young girl. And then afterwards, the owners came, and they were very old, and they were not very healthy. And I think they were so happy. And I think shortly after the show, they went into a hospital, and I think one of them died. And these things I remember. I don't remember all the time the most fantastic poodle or the most fantastic, because there are so many nice dogs.
Yeah, that I can agree.
It has always to do a little bit with emotion.
Yeah, of course. There needs to be something that is going to keep it in your memory, some special story. That's true. Do you remember, for example, one best in show lineup that you judged, which has been extremely difficult for you because the quality of the dogs you thought was incredible?
No, I think if you judge in England all the groups, you fight against yourself. That's the most. That is not easy. If you do all the groups, and that means that you like all of them, and then you have to fight against yourself. But normally, Yeah. It depends also a bit of the quality of the judges when you do the, let's say, best in show. Sometimes you see nice dogs and they disappear all the time. And you think, oh, and he's again out. And,
yes,
and
I remember a few years ago in Split when Sean Delmar was judging in Split, and he was supposed to judge best in show. And when he finished the dinner, he went to the main ring, and his trousers broke. So we took him a taxi, and he has gone back to the hotel to change for the best in show. And when he came back, just like 5 minutes before the best in show, he lined up his lineup enter, and he said, "And where are all the dogs that I liked?" I said, "Well, they are not here anymore." So
they were not here. Oh, that can happen.
Yeah, sometimes
but
happens.
Maybe it's good for the exhibitors.
Yeah, I think it's good that people have different opinions. Yeah. Of course, it's not. It would be boring if it would be always the same. Tell me, Hans, favorite Scottish Terrier of all times for you, not bred or owned by you.
Scottish Terriers not bred. I think I did them years ago at the World Show in Poland, and there was a very nice German bred bitch. I don't remember the name, but it was very nice. And then I think you have nice dogs. To be honest, you can have nice dogs in Russia. I think I liked. Do you know? I'm so bad in names. The American one some years ago who won Crufts.
Yeah.
What was the name? It was Russian with Love or something.
Yeah, something like this from Russia with Love. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember the full name.
I judged it in Florida, and it was really nice.
Tell me, Hans, the best dog you ever had as the owner or as a breeder.
I think we never had a lot of dogs, but I had a funny story. We had in Holland, the names in Scottish. We had a Scottie called Gavin Landlord, and he was very nice. And we had a nice bitch, a Rayanda bitch. And when I think I was not there. Cor went for the mating, and when he came, she said, "Oh, he is a bit more expensive now." So he paid the extra money, and then we came back and we bred Raymore Flash Gordon, and I think at the end he was better than his father, who was an English champion. And I think he was very nice. Yes. Yeah. I think, to be critical, his front could be better, because if you breed them a bit more elegant, you can sometimes have not the perfect front. But it was.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, there is no perfect dog, so no, we are fine with that. Tell me, Hans, one breed that you never had at home but you would like to have.
I think, to be honest, I like to have a French bulldog.
Ah, that's interesting. Is it something new, or it's from before that you like to have it?
No, we have friends. We have friends in the north of Holland, and we visited them now last week, and they have the most funny French bulldog. He's so nice. Yes. He looks into your eyes. A Scottie is so different, they are looking around. What can I do? Yeah. And he comes with his play. He has a ball, and he comes to you. He sits and we have friends with a champion male. A fawn champion male, very nice, and that's also a very nice dog. I like the breed a lot.
Should I be now a little bit bad and provocative and ask you, do you want a Frenchie with a long nose or with a short nose?
I want just a dog according to the breed standard, so never a long nose.
Okay.
Then I go for another breed.
Okay. Tell me, Hans, when you think about one dog person that is not alive anymore and you terribly miss, who do you think about?
Who I admire?
Somebody who is not alive anymore and you terribly miss. One dog person who is not alive anymore and you really miss it.
I think who do I terribly miss? That is let's see. Let's think about. I think who was for me. In terriers, we had an adult terrier breeder who was very nice, and we had Mr. Uppenkamp I liked very much. So it was some German terrier breeders I liked very much.
Yeah.
In Holland, yeah, the most of them are still alive.
That's good. That's good news.
Even our Mr. Van der Weyer, he's in his 90s now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
A good person.
Tell me, Hans, when you think about one breeder who year after year is managing to produce top quality dogs, doesn't matter in which breed, which name comes to your mind? Let's say one person from the Netherlands and one person from the rest of the world. One person who always impressed you by his breeding.
No, I think to be honest, that is the Huikershovens. They always come back with a nice dog. And I think abroad there are so many, but I was very impressed by a Gordon setter breeder in Melbourne. And I think it is not easy to breed good Gordon setters, but she is always coming back with top quality.
Yeah. That's not an easy breed. Yeah. Tell me, Hans, one still active judge, which you have always admired for his knowledge, presence, somebody that you really admire as a judge and is still actively judging. One person from Netherlands and one from the rest of the world.
No, the rest of the world I admire in a way Per Iversen. Not from Norway.
Absolutely. Per is a great guy.
It is, and he's an absolutely dog person, and he's very knowledgeable, and he always behaves very nicely.
Yes.
And in Holland,
and he's a wonderful person. This is always very important.
Yeah, and he's a wonderful person. And in Holland, I have to think a little bit. Who do I admire? I think there are more I admire. No, I don't know really special names now. No.
Okay, let's leave it that way. Tell me, Hans, do you remember one dog that you have judged and that you will never forget? Doesn't matter if it was it was a long time ago or not so long time ago. One dog that has really make impression to you, that every time when you think about one breed or something, you always think of this dog. I don't need the name, just tell me maybe the occasion or the breed. And can you move the camera a little bit down again, because it has gone up again?
I will always remember a standard poodle in England. I judged Best in Show in Darlington, and it was raining and raining and raining, and then we were standing in the mud with the boots on, and then this poodle came in, a white poodle, and in such a wonderful condition. And I remember years ago, I was judging in Norway a small show, and it was one of that, and it was raining and raining and raining, and then there came in the Westie, Ikebara. I still remember the name, and he was so fantastic. Yeah, and that can happen.
Yeah, of course, sometimes there comes a dog that you will never forget in your life. Yeah. Tell me, Hans, my last question from this part of the quick questions. Is there something more that you would like to achieve as a judge?
No. I never think about what is achievement in judging.
Yeah, I don't know, something that you would like to do and you never did.
No, I like to judge dogs, and it doesn't matter where it is. If I am at a small show and I have good dogs and it is a good hospitality and it is friendship, then I like it. But I have no dreams, let's say, that I judged. No.
Yeah. Okay, no. Perfect.
That's not how I am.
Okay. Tell me, Hans. We start now with this second part of questions. You are one of the very few people who had the honor to judge 2 Best in Shows at the 2 European dog shows. What kind of feeling is that?
To be honest, you know more about it than I do. Is it? I do, yes. Oh yeah, I did too.
You did too, yes. Brussels and Leeuwarden.
Maybe I'm a bit strange, but you're right. I did it in Leeuwarden, and I did it in Leeuwarden. It
Brussels.
was an Afghan hound, and in Brussels it was a Lakeland Terrier. Yeah, yeah. It is an honor. It is an honor, and of course you are very stressed. You are looking forward. What kind of dogs do I get? And you enjoy it, and that's also an honor, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me, it's very. I'm going to ask you. It is very, very strange, or let's say it's not very often that a foreign judge European Dog Show or World Dog Show, Best in Show in another country. How did it happen that you judged in Brussels? I mean, that was really a great honor for you from the Belgian Kennel Club to ask somebody who is not from their own country.
To be honest, they asked you. I did not. They asked you, and I didn't say, "Why do you ask me?"
No, I know, but I think this is really
I have no idea.
That's a kind of a very special honor in a way to be invited.
And I love Belgium, and now I live close to Belgium, maybe.
Yeah, so that's good. Okay, I want to ask you one thing connected with this European Dog Show in Belgium. At the gala dinner, you were asked to give a speech as a Best in Show judge, and you were speaking about these judges who are changing countries. And I know that has been a video that has been shared 1 million times on Facebook all around. And it has caused, obviously, a lot of controversy. A lot of people were writing how proud they were of you to mention something like this. Obviously, I suppose there has been also some people who were not happy about this. How do you feel about this now? Are you sorry that you have done this speech?
No, it is strange. Let's say that if I have the feeling that I will have problems here, and then I move to Croatia.
Yes.
It is strange. I think if I have problems here, you must not accept me.
Yeah.
But I know people, if they move to another country just because, and there's more. There are also people, they move to another country and then they are all around in a second. And then they come back and they're all out. That is strange.
Yeah.
You must know and think about it. I know it. Yeah. You know it as well.
Yeah. So did some colleagues take it bad on you because of this speech?
There some didn't say hello to me anymore.
Okay.
Some said to me, Hans, you did a very stupid thing because you will never judge at the European show anymore. And some, I remember, some FCI members, I cannot mention names, and they said, Hans, you did a good job.
Yeah, okay. I think this is with everything we do in our life. There are always people who will like something and people who will not like something. No, we need to live with that.
The story was that I said as a joke, I open an hotel in the south of Europe, and if you have problems with your license, I can help you.
Yeah, I remember.
And I also said, if you are getting older, because in Finland, I think if you are getting 80, you cannot judge anymore. I can fix you another country, and then you can go on forever.
And did the business start for you? How is going the hotel?
I think if I start a business now again, it will be super.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Yes. Listen, Hans, one more thing when we are touching the subject of these big shows. A lot of people were against, and I know that your Kennel Club was against the World Dog Show in China. You have been invited to go there. You have gone to judge the World Dog Show in China. Do you think that the World Dog Show in China was a good idea? from the FCI, or you think it was not a good idea?
First of all, it was the election was in a democratic way. I think they got it, so all the countries voted for it, and I said yes to go because we had a discussion here at home with friends and with SCORE. But I have been there before, and I helped a lot of people with streaming, with showing, testing judges in China, and then I said to myself, no, I have the friends, and I know so many people who love dogs. I don't let them. I go for them.
Yeah.
That was the reason, and I think if you don't go, you don't have any influence anymore. And I will always remember when Thomas Jacques did the speech. He said, "I'm proud to be here."
Yeah.
And boycotting is no.
So you are happy. You are happy that you have been a part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Let's go, Hans, now to the part of the interview that I think it's going to be most interesting for a lot of people, considering the situation in Holland at the moment. And I'm going to start with the question which probably people would think that it will be asked in the end, but instead I will do opposite and I will ask it as a first question. Did Netherlands lose the fight, and did Netherlands lose the brachybrids?
We lost the fight, but I'm not so sure if the fight was very clever. Because in 2018, the managing director of the Kennel Club did, but I will have a look. He did a speech at the European Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a discussion group about animal health and welfare and extreme breeding of dogs. And then at his speech, he showed a French bulldog, a kind of a French bulldog. I think it was a crossbred, and there was written functional flat face. And then he said, for the French bulldog, we are looking for the best rules to implement. So, beside the fitness, we are planning to implement more rules about appearance. And that was for me the start, that it was very easy for the government to deal with the Kennel Club, because he did this speech without any communication with the Judges Association or the breed clubs. And that was for me a shock.
Okay, and you think that there is a way that this situation with the brachybrids in Holland will be fixed, or you think this is something that we will never be able to fix again?
I think this is not the only thing. We need a kennel club who is fighting for the breeds. If we had, there's more. We had in Tallinn last year the breeding commission of the FCI, and there was the delegate of the Dutch Kennel Club, and she showed the most horrible dogs. Are you interested in showing?
Absolutely, yes. Okay. This is why you are here. Just put the camera a bit down again, please.
Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it perfectly. Yes.
Do you need another one?
No, it's enough. For me, it's enough.
Okay. And I asked one of the delegates about it, and he said to me, "Yeah, this was going to be mandatory in the Netherlands. So we need, the clubs are now fighting against the Kennel Club, and the Kennel Club should fight for them."
Yeah, that's not an easy situation. But you mentioned some of these stories from the start of this. Do you know now more or less exactly how did this story start? Why did this all happen? Why 12 breeds? Why all the Brahmi breeds? When we know that that not all the Brahmi breeds have problems with boas. How did this story start in the Netherlands?
No, the minister didn't ask for the breeds. The Kennel Club said it.
So you want to say that the Kennel Club offered to the government 12 breeds, which they think they should be changed?
But what is the problem with a Japanese chin?
I don't know.
Charles?
Yeah.
Or Griffon Bruxellois? Tell me. You were the person.
Yeah, I know. I had this interview with Edwin and with Mike, and they were showing some of these papers from this Agria insurance company and so on, and there were absolutely so many breeds who had more problems with these boas diseases than, for example, what you mentioned, Japanese chirts or griffons or things like this. This is why for many people it was not clear why did the government go against all these 12 breeds. This is something
it's not clear for us as well.
Yeah.
And I think that we had a discussion at the let's another look. We were obliged to come to a meeting for the judges of the short-faced breeds, and in the first letter was
sorry, Hans, when it was this meeting?
4 weeks ago, maybe.
Okay.
And in the letter was written, criteria by law will have influence on the way you will judge these short-faced breeds. And of course, all the judges at the meeting said, no, we are judging according to the FCI. And now we get another letter, and they said, of course you have to judge according to the FCI, but now people exhibit a think that we are judging according to a special standard.
But
let's talk about the breeds. I think, can you imagine that you have Boston Terriers and you cannot breed anymore?
This is also another thing, but like if we talk practically, and I'm just trying to imagine what can happen in the future. You say that you should judge these 12 breeds by the FCI standard, but in the same time you forbid them to be bred by the FCI standard. It means that when you
but you can show and import at anything.
Yeah. But let's say if the Dutch breeder will continue to breed by the rules of the Kennel Club, then all the dogs are not going to look like they should look like by the FCI standard.
Yeah, you're correct.
So it means that Dutch breeders are going to breed the dogs that are going to get goods and very goods from the Dutch judges. Am I connecting it correctly?
Yes, it's correct.
Okay, that's a kind of a strange situation.
So anyhow, can you imagine that I judge your Pekingese in Belgium and you get best of breed, and I judge the same dog in Holland? And no, we all judge according to the standard, and if we cannot judge according to the standard, we will not judge anymore.
Yeah, this I want to ask you, Hans. You have published one letter few days ago with the signatures from a lot of Dutch judges who are judging these 12 breeds, and all these judges have signed a kind of a paper where they are stating that wherever they go, they will continue to judge by the FCI standard. Does it mean that the judges who didn't sign this paper are going to judge in another way?
They have to explain themselves what they are doing.
Because that's kind of...
We are not responsible for the other ones. we do our best. We did a meeting. We are trying to have all the judges together. And if you don't sign, maybe there is a reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, because what it was strange for me about this letter that you have published, I would think that there is no need that anybody sign a paper saying that he will judge by the FCI standard, because this is something that he must do by the FCI. This is not something that you can choose. Okay, today I want to judge by the FCI standard, and tomorrow I don't want.
But
so
you can
have,
but you can have another idea about the way you will judge.
Yeah. So the things are getting complicated. Let's say. I want to ask you, Hans. You speak very openly about all these problems on the social media, and I think that
of course we do it because I want to fight for these breeds.
yes.
Can you imagine? I have here, let's say, Affenpinscher. Oh, no, let's say Affenpinscher. Let's say Griffons. They are healthy. They are good breathing, and all of a sudden I cannot breathe anymore. And look at the head shape in the standard. Nose placement between the eyes. How will you breathe a Griffon with a longer nose and a bit undershot? It is. I think the only solution is that we, as countries, are united. We do the same health tests, and not what we do in Holland, but come on, go to the Cambridge system that is more than a longer nose, and that we do the same system, and that the FCI maybe could lobby in Brussels as well. And that's the only way we can survive, I think, because in Holland there are more short-faced breeds. I think there are 30 breeds now on the list. So if the Kennel Club is not fighting, we lose the whole game.
So you think that this list is not going the end? Is not the end?
No. We have Animal and Right, and now they are also looking for dogs below 10 kilo. This is Chihuahua, and no, that goes on. Boxers.
Okay, tell me, Hans. As I said, you speak very openly about it on Facebook, and a lot of let's say important people from all around the world are commenting and giving you support for your fight for the things. Do you think this is going to bring you into trouble with your own kennel club?
No. Why?
I'm asking. Did somebody say to you that you should not do this or something?
No. I didn't do anything. I just published the things what is correct. No. And of course we no. The only thing is when you don't follow the standard. That was very interesting. People are discussing with me. And there was one lady, she said to me, a French judge, a very nice lady, she said, if we, FCI judges, start to work in the interest of the crossbreeds, far from the standards, then we should resign.
Yeah.
We are supposed to be guardians of these standards and help towards the selection of the best dogs. Like you, she said to me, I'm ashamed of this kind of attitude.
Yeah, this is one question that I have asked to all my guests when I was talking about this subject. So I'm going to ask to you too, because the Dutch Kennel Club, in a way, is saying they will not allow crossbreeding. They don't want to crossbreed these breeds. But in the same way, do you think that there is any way to get these breeds get longer nose unless to cross them with another breed?
I've no idea.
Because I'm thinking, like, how can you get let's say a French bulldog or an English bulldog with a long nose unless you crossbreed it with another breed.
No, you know, and imagine we are in Holland and a French Bulldog is a French breed. So we have to go back to the country of origin. How can we change a Croatian breed here in Holland? I think that there is no solution for it. We have a standard, we have the country of origin, and they can decide what they want to change, but not another country.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's not an easy situation. There are Hans in the Netherlands now. Few of the groups, some of the breed clubs, associations who are trying to fight, let's say, the same thing that you are fighting. They are going to the meetings with the kennel clubs. They are trying to do something about this. But most of them are publishing the letters saying that there is not a lot of improvement in the negotiations with the kennel club. They are quite disappointed, and so on. Why is the kennel club not going, let's say, a little bit more open about the subject and trying to explain what actually is happening and what they are trying to do?
Yeah, that is the question. I don't know. We've been to one meeting with the board member for the judges, and it was more. You can read it everywhere on Facebook. It was more a fight, and I think they should show their emotion, and they should say, "This is so painful for the breeders." You know, I cannot understand it. It is so painful that you don't show anything. Yeah. That makes me so sad about it. And what is now happening? I think some breeders will move to Belgium, some to Germany, and if the kennel club should talk to the people, but you know, I think at the moment when I had now the last letter here, they don't trust the kennel club anymore. That is so important. Yeah. So I think there was an idea to have the pedigrees back, and that the dogs should have a test, a health test, at 40 places with 40 vets all over Holland, and that was a good idea, I think, because health is not only this length of muscle, and we all know.
Yeah. This is actually the problem which most of the breeders are mentioning and saying that maybe in a way we would all be agree about the fact that Netherlands comes and say, okay, let's make the nose longer and we have solved the problems. I think that would be a good initiative, but that's not true. The long noses are not going to solve the problem. No. So we are trying to do something which is not going to help to anything. This is the part which I don't understand, how it is possible that there are no people who can explain. And I think that there are enough, because I spoke also in my interviews with the veterinarians, and they say there are absolutely no evidences that the long nose is going to solve the problem.
No. But it is for me also a mystery, because, and there's also another thing, at the meeting with the board member for the judges, we asked about the RSI, that is the health check. When we judge, we say eyes for the special breeds. You know, they do it all over in Sweden. So we asked about the result of it, and they said there was nothing, because if you look at the Griffon health problems, 0. There was no judge who checked something strange with health, with the breathing. Sorry, I will say it again. When we judge these breeds, French Bulldog or Griffon Bruxellois, we check in detail the points. You know, is the open nostrils, breathing, And in some breeds, there is nothing in a Japan Chin what I saw. There is nothing in a King Charles, but we don't have many King Charles. But that's also a problem.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Hans. Before I continue with a few more questions that I have, I would like to read few of the comments. There have been so many. There have been 81 comments till now. So I'm not going obviously to manage to read them all, but I will try to find some which are, let's say, important to read. We have a comment from Martin Versluis. He says we need help from all breeds to save all pedigree dogs in Holland, and hopefully the FCI will help us also. Jill then saying, I'm so grateful to be able to see these interviews. I get so much information on the state of our breeds. Breed clubs throughout the world should be paying attention. Peter Akat saying, the fact is the most powerful enemy does not come from the outside, it comes from the inside. Vence Charlotte Scully saying, it's great that you speak up for the brachycephalic breeds. Let me see. Leah van der Ven say, this is probably about the letter that we were talking about. She says 49 out of 56 judges signed the petition. Cindy Kersmeyer saying we have done it because we care about these breeds and we care about our true breeders. Leah van der Ven saying, Ante, that is what we want to know too. But Maya Sandman saying dealing with activists is never about reason or compassion or empathy. Marion Radsdok saying who made the speech for him? I don't know. Peter Akad saying, let me see. The pity is that so many do not care, even breed clubs which should support. We here have dogs which already look like those on the pictures hold up, owned and bred by officials. So I'm not optimistic. Think we have already lost the fight. Let me see what more we have. Marion Razdok saying we are going to fix it. Maria Luisa Doppelreiter is saying dogs from these breeds, when well bred, don't have problems. They live a long, healthy life. Peter Acker saying this interview is fantastic. Very open words are spoken. So there are a lot of comments, Hans. A lot of people.
I'm listening. I think that's important. I think dog people are not very united here. You say, for example, oh, I have a golden retriever, so I don't have the problem. Yeah. And the problem will attack all the breeds. So I think we have to, as pedigree dogs, we have to stand up and unite. Even here, I can see it is not easy to have people together. That's if you have the farmers here, you know, the farmers, they are organized fantastic in a second. Yeah. But now we start to be organized as well. I think it's just, I'm now speaking here, but maybe you've seen the names of other judges as well. I think very active is also Hildebard Hoendeken. A judge and a very
he has published also a long letter a few days ago saying that he doesn't see the point of all these meetings with the Kennel Club because they are not going in the right direction. And I agree with you, Hans. I think the two main problems that we have, first of all, that still in the dog world that are too many people who think I don't have this breed, this is not my problem. I don't want to be a part of it. And then the second of it, what it actually saddens me is that it all at the end looks as a kind of a fight between people of these breeds with the Kennel Club, when actually should be a joint fight against somebody else. The Kennel Club and the breeders and the breed clubs should work together against the people who are trying to bring these rules. not one against another, because this will not bring us anywhere. You mentioned Hans a little bit earlier, Germany, and I didn't have time today, but I have seen the cover of the new issue of Our Dogs, published 2 days ago, and there has been a big article about the government trying to implement more or less or the same or very similar rules about Brachy breeds in Germany. Is this what we were talking from the beginning, that the biggest problem of this story of Netherlands is this domino effect, that after Netherlands has done this, many countries will just, let's say, do the same thing?
Yeah, and at the end, we don't have any pedigree dogs anymore. Because how do they look like? There are breeders, generations, trying to breed good look, healthy, typical dogs. And then it's over. And what is coming here? What's coming? What do you see? Because you see then at the end, you see here French bulldogs bred at puppy farms, expensive, different colors, blues and everything. No health tests, nothing. So we need to fight for our pedigree dogs. We need to fight for our pedigree dogs, yes. And you start to think, I have Scotties all my life. Now, we talk about 65 years ago. I think that's my passion, it's my hobby. I love it, and they are healthy. But all of a sudden, you start to think, oh, I have to buy a Labradoodle.
Yeah.
Because they are healthy, and don't believe it.
Yeah, what it also bothers me, Hans, in all this, not only the story about Netherlands, but in general about these stories, all these rules by the government, and also some of the rules that are being done by the kennel clubs, are for the, let's say, passionate, smart, responsible breeders. But for the puppy farmers, there are no rules. Nobody is controlling them. They can breed whatever they want. They can breed short nose, long nose, no health tests, nothing. Actually, at the end, these rules are not saving this situation. They are making the situation only more dangerous, because people will still want English Bulldog and French Bulldogs with a short nose, but they will not be able to buy them from the responsible breeders, so they will buy them from the puppy farmers. And the breed is just going to be more and more destroyed.
So now, I can interview you now.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm asking you.
You are right. What can I say? You are clever, and it's perfectly what you say. It's you cannot. I think we must start in Holland. The logo in Holland is houden van honden, loving dogs. We must start with saying loving pedigree dogs.
Yeah, that would be a good start. I agree with you.
Start, and then you must promote. You must promote them, because they are. And what is also so sad, I got a mail from a breeder of English Bulldogs. He said, Hans, I did so my best. It cost me a fortune to do all the tests, and now at the end I have nothing.
Yeah, this is what it is, that years and years of work of responsible breeders are being thrown in the garbage for nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a comment from Patricia Nemirovsky, the Alsina. She's saying, first they came for ears and tails, but I didn't care because I didn't have those breeds. Then they came for brachycephalic, but I didn't have those either. Then they came for my dogs, but there was nobody to defend me. So this is, I think, a good explanation.
That's
unfortunately,
a good explanation. And we, together with our Scotties, we are also on the list now with our short legs.
Yeah. We will see. Tell me, Hans, in all this extremely difficult situation in the Netherlands, what do you think that the FCI can do about it? How it can help?
That's a difficult question. I hope. Let's do it this way. That was not my idea, but this Hildovert Hoendeken said it. He said, if we get the pedigrees back, then we will breed a litter, let's say French bulldogs, and we let them check by these 40 vets around Holland with the Cambridge system. And then, of course, you will have problems because you are breeding against the law, because the law is this. And then I think you must go to what's the English word? You go to a lawyer and you will explain that you did a good job and that you did a better test than the Utrecht test from Holland. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Is it? Do you understand what I mean? So you do another test, and then you can fight against the law that your test is better than the one here in Holland.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope that our kennel club should fight for you.
Yeah. This is very, very difficult that that in a way you have a situation in Holland where the breed clubs are not together with the kennel club, but in a way are against. I will not say against, but they are, let's say, having completely different opinions than the kennel club.
Yeah.
I think.
And when you see the communication is not so fantastic.
Yes. I was talking also about this with many people, and Christian also was saying 2 weeks ago, and many others, that a lot of these problems actually came because of a wrong communication.
Mm-hmm.
There is no good communication between the kennel clubs and the breed clubs and the breeders, and okay, but we are where we are. Okay, let me read few of the comments. Brina Tomer saying very wise words from Mr. Van den Berg. A big thank you for standing up for the Brachi breeds and purebred dogs in the hall. Yvonne Sandberg Aber saying smuggled dogs, animals, rescue dogs, animals, no pedigree breeding. It is in 99% of the above mentioned animals that have been exploited, and something must be done to help the animals. Why is it our humans' right to breed animals without any requirement for education and control? We must demand new laws that make the breeding of animals without education punishable, if not criminal, worldwide. I see no other way to help the suffering animal and protect the pedigree breeds in order to also get the control over the puppy mills and farms. Maya Sandman saying government poisoned with activists, media poisoned with activists, our kennel club poisoned with activists. It's like fighting against windmills. They prepared years long and we didn't see this coming. Jaco Broersma is saying the FCI should tell the Dutch Kennel Club to follow their own rules. The decision made by the Kennel Club was made without consulting the members. Martin Versluis is saying to tell the Dutch Kennel Club that they have to give our pedigrees because both parents have pedigree. Hopefully the FCI will do that. Jill Dennis saying with BOAS testing, how would the breeder know if the veterinarian isn't the government pick? Yes, it is. I see that people are in a way very, how to say, sad about the situation because they don't know what to do and what is going to happen. Let's say we are coming to the end of the interview, Hans. You are fighting for this. You have become, let's say, one of the faces of this fight for the Brachi breeds.
No, I'm not the face. I think the faces are the presidents and the breeders. I offered my support to them because they know my face. So this is
what I'm saying. I think your face means a lot for them because I think that a lot of these breeders got really, let's say, more brave, more courageous when they saw that people with your name and your reputation are standing behind them.
And here, let's say a girl with a Boston Terrier, she started now breeding and she cannot breed, and that's painful for me.
Yeah,
young and
so yeah. I mean, it is painful for the young generation, and it's even more painful for the people, as you say, who have invested so many years of their life for responsible breeding, and now they don't have nothing anymore.
No.
But what I want to ask you, Hans, if the Kennel Club or somebody from the FCI would ask to you and say, okay, Hans, tell us what we can do, tell us how we can change this situation, tell us what we can do to help the breeders and the breeds, what would be your answer?
Now, first of all, we need a new board. And I think we need a new board, and I think there should be an evaluation about the office as well. Because if you work at a kennel club and you promote dogs, as I showed you, I think if you go on this way, we lose the fight. They have to stand up, and they have to stand for the pedigree dogs. The office and the board.
So that's one of the solutions. But in a way, if you would, for example, manage to change the board, and you would manage to get new people who would, let's say, fight the same fight as the breeders. Yes. What kind of fight would it be? What needs to be done?
Then you can fight together and say to Utrecht that it was a very poor examination, a very poor test what they did. You go back to the basics about the length of the nose, and you come with another test.
Yeah.
That is the only solution I think we can do, that you go back and that you show another test, and that you say, this is what they do in England, this is what they do in Norway, and it is much better. Because we all know that in Norwich Terriers, it's the same. They have the same breathing problems, for example. And they don't look like a French
brachybreds. Yeah. And they have a long nose.
And a longer nose.
Yeah. Because I see that some of these groups are collecting money for the lawyers and for the court.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is going to be one of the solutions to try to find the justice on the court and to explain what is actually fact and what is not a fact?
I think, my partner is a lawyer. He said it is not easy to change the law anymore. But so you have to come with another test and to show that there are better things, and then you can win.
Yeah.
And they will win, I think, because we are fighting for the breeds, and I'm sure that we will fight and will win.
Yeah. And I think that is also very important that the Dutch breeders got a lot of support from the clubs from all around the world, who have been really, really helpful in this situation, and have really try, I think, in a way that can be a good thing for the ones who are fighting against it. Let me read a few more comments. Anne keeps saying, thank you, Hans, lovely interview. John Williams saying, as Hans said, it will not stop with the brachy breeds. Next will be the short-legged dogs, then the dogs with no coats, then the small dogs. Peter Ackert saying, Hans, you are so courageous. Respect. Maya Sandman saying, Hans, thank you for being with us breeders. Peter Ackert saying, I hope democracy will work in the right way. A new board that fights for the breeds is really necessary. Maria Luisa Doppelreiter saying, respect for such honest and courageous words, Hans van den Berg. Let me see. John Williams saying, and we must fight against the breeding without pedigree or from puppy farms. Tomer saying vet needs to distinguish a purebred dogs with a pedigree from a look-alike from a puppy mill. Martin Verslu is saying thank you for the open interview and your support. Hans, Patricia Nemirovsky de Alsina, fantastic interview, thank you. So it has been a lot of people, Hans, watching this interview, and we got, or let's say I got what I was expecting from you, a very honest interview with from somebody who actually puts the things how they are without any politics, diplomacy, or anything, trying to help as much as it's possible. Let's put it as my last question for you, Hans. Not only about the Brahim Prix, not only about the Netherlands, but about the future of the sport in general. Are you optimistic or you are pessimistic?
I am optimistic. Maybe we must look a little bit inside our hobby. How do we show them? How do we prepare them? Maybe we must look a little bit around what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that I will talk to you in private. But I think a dog standing maybe for hours on a table.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we need to be clear that there are also things that we are doing wrong. That's no doubts about that.
I do the same, or I when I trim a dog, automatically they stay there as well. But we must also look inside and look at our hobby, and that's not so difficult. I think, for example, when you see a Shih Tzu and drinking liquid as a rabbit, you know, because it's getting wet here, it looks maybe strange for normal people.
Well, many things that we do look strange for normal people. We also need to live with that.
So maybe we must sometimes do a little bit more normal as well. And I go because I do the same.
Yeah. And what would be your message, let's say, for the end, for the young generations, for the people who are starting to be involved in the sport? What would be, let's say, your message for them? Because actually, obviously, the future is in the hands of the young people. What they should do different than us? What there is to change from what we have done?
I think the young generation, they have the same passion as we have, because that's in the world. I remember I worked at the university, and there was a girl, and she had a student, and she had a hobby showing, and then she's always said, "We are the only ones," but she had the same passion. So that's happening. For the future, I will say, don't go maybe more professional in showing and trimming and everything. You know, sometimes, if you see sometimes I have to be polite, but sometimes you see dogs and they are so let's say overbrushed and overshown and everything. Try to be a bit normal. To show a bit normal, maybe. But can you help me?
Yeah. I understand what you want, to try to get, let's say, an image that is more acceptable for the general public.
Yeah, I was in last year. I was in at the show, and there came a huge box with a standard poodle, and then people said, "Why are they in these boxes? They can't move." You know, and that is, we are used to it because we say, "Oh yes, before the coat," and but it is a bit strange.
Yeah, but I mean, as I said, a lot of things that we do are strange for normal people. I remember when I bought my first dog, and I went for my first dog show, and I bought the box, you know, and I had put the dog in the box. My mother said to me, "You put him once again in this box in front of me, and I will kill you." Because for her, that was not something that that she could accept.
No, you're right.
Yeah. But okay, yeah. But I think in general what we need, and you were saying this before, we need to unite. I think this is the first thing that we need to do, to start to fight together for the better of the dog world.
and to fight for pedigree dogs, and to tell people how healthy they are in general.
Yeah.
Because we do all the tests.
Yeah, exactly.
We do all the things, and we try to breed nice, healthy dogs, not just a healthy dog. I like a nice, Scotty, healthy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Let me read a few more.
What is wrong if you enjoy a nice dog around you?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No.
Yeah, but and what a lot of people were saying before, I think we also need to say that the dog breeds, together with the breeds of other animals, are actually a kind of a natural cultural heritage of the countries. Which needs to be protected in a way. Also this.
Yeah, look at some pictures of Griffon, and not only Griffon, but look at the King Charles, look at Japantin. Yeah, many years ago, they looked exactly the same in the head shape.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are better in the construction than 50 years ago, and that we forget.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There are a few more comments, Hans, that I'm going to read to you. Altan Meng saying Hans has more and better brains than the whole board and office in Amsterdam. Celiston saying thank you both for this interview. Tough questions, tough subject, courageous answers. Venture Charlotte Cogley saying it's behind my belief how anyone can throw away the Cambridge study. There is not, to my knowledge, any bigger study. Great work, Hans van den Berg, and for mentioning Norway and all the work done with the Kennel Club, the breed clubs, and the Norwegian government to use the Cambridge Boas project. Tony Groedang saying thanks. Maya Sandman saying, Ante, thank you too for the opportunity to show our side of the deal and for giving Hans the chance to speak his mind. Tanya van der Elst saying probably the people who don't own these breeds are also scared. What will the future bring? I know I'm confused and fear the future. Filippo Gianola is saying, Hans, would you have expected more incisive support from the FCI? Peter Akat saying, yes, we have to stand up to point that the FCI will not help, I'm afraid. So there has been a lot of comments, Hans, over 130 comments, almost 100 people watching live, and many of them will watch it later. I want to thank to everybody for leaving the comments, for asking the questions. To you, Hans, of course, I want to thank for the interview, for being so honest and open about the subject. I'm going to say here once again, I am trying to do these interviews as professional as I can. And definitely, if there is a person from the Dutch Kennel Club who would like to talk to me and who would like to say also their part of the story, I would be more than happy to welcome them as guests in my interview. I think that we all need to start to talk, and I think we all need to try to find a solution, because I really hope that we all have the same goal. So anyhow, Hans, thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope it has not been too stressful for you. Give my regards to Cor, and I hope that this Corona nightmare is going to finish soon, and we will be able to meet somewhere quite soon.
I hope so.
Yes, we all hope so. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and see you next Wednesday. Thank you, Hans, and good night, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.